my comic was also really old. I did the Incredible Hulk.
Ooh.
And I did number 180. Does anyone know what the significance of that comic book is?
Oh, I know nothing about the Hulk, so.
Well, you might not know enough about
Is
the
it a
Hulk.
crossover? The crossover.
It's not a crossover, but by our terms, but it technically, I guess, in the long haul of history, it is a crossover. Okay, issue 180 is the introduction of the character known as Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I read issue 180, and I also read 181 because it carries over into that one. These are they go from comic issue to issue. So I was very confused reading this.
So they're like serialized.
Yeah, and they have like annotations in the strips that tell you like this was, by the way, this was from issue 172. I'm like, oh, whatever. But okay, so it starts out like it's weird because like the Hulk is in New York, but like in like northern New York, like where it's all green and like farmland, and he was like, I guess he was just freaking out. Like he was the Hulk. He wasn't Bruce Banner at the time. He was the Hulk, and these farmers were like bothering him. And then he realized that he just hates people. So he left New York and kept going north and entered Canada. So that's a weird plot device, is that he just doesn't like people. There's a lot of cuts, by the way. I'm going to try. And again, there's other like issues that it references, so I don't know the whole story. But then it cuts to there are no. Okay, it cuts to New Mexico, and the scientists are busy chipping away at something. They said, "Is Weapon X ready yet?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's ready to go." And then
X-Man.
Yeah, it cuts back to the Hulk, who has now entered Canada, and he's roaming around, and then he hears a voice in his head saying, "Hulk, Hulk," and he's like, and kind of like what you were talking about with Turok, he's got like a similar response, like, "Who dat? Who called to me?" And apparently he talked like that too. I didn't know that, but Hulk, like when he turns into the Hulk, he like gets really stupid or something. So like, he said that, and then it cuts to like a witch. There's like a witch lady. She's got like horns on her head. And then her brother is hurt. He's like sitting, he's not well, I think. And she was like, I'm summoning somebody to help you. This is where I like really do not understand the ins and outs. So at the end of this, if you're confused, so am I. I don't get it. But like, she's like, "I'm calling for somebody," and obviously, you know, it's the Hulk because you just saw him like get the telepathic message. So he's like, "Oh, who called to me? I'm coming." And then so he follows what he thinks is the voice, and he shows up to that lady, and a Wendigo appears. Now, Wendigo, for those that don't know, is like, it's a creature from the north. It's like it's almost like an abominable snowman. But in this thing, it's like a person. A person embodies it, and they're immortal. So follow me on that. I guess it's a person, but turns out she knows the person. I don't know if she realizes she knows that person yet, but it's coming. And so the Incredible Hulk has fought this Wendigo in the past in one of the previous issues. So now he's going at it again, and they start fighting, and there's like a lot of action here. They're like throwing each other through trees, and they're fighting and everything. But they acknowledge that he's indestructible. So I don't really understand why they're doing all this. But it's then that finally, and this is at like the end of the issue 180, Wolverine shows up, and he looks terrible. Like, he looks so...
Is it the orange one? Is he in his costume or anything?
He's in his X-Man costume, the yellow one.
Oh, okay.
But the horns, like, it's not as sleek as it is in like what we know. No. They're just like very small horns, very, very small. And he has claws. I don't know if they establish like all of his powers. They say he has incredible stamina, but they don't talk about like recovery or anything. So he rushes in, and the three, like, okay, that's the end of that episode, of that issue. So then I was like, well, I can't just end there. I got to read 181. So now that's where they got their hooks in me. And so I was turned over to 181, and I'm reading all this on my phone. I didn't buy any comic books. I wouldn't get caught dead in some comic book store. Did you imagine them trying to talk
Holy
to me?
shit, is that Spencer?
Get mobbed. So yeah, I was reading 181, and they all start fighting. So Wolverine starts fighting the Hulk, but his claws can't pierce the Hulk's skin. I guess the Hulk also has super strong skin, so adamantite claws can't pierce it. So the Wolverine gives up. He literally says, I can't pierce his skin, so I'm going to go fight the Wendigo. It's the most nonsensical thing, but it's very, very clearly he was built to kill the Hulk. So I don't understand why he would then just go out of boredom fight the Wendigo. So he goes and he fights the Wendigo, and they team up. Hulk and Wolverine team up to beat the Wendigo. And the stupidest line of dialogue I think I've ever read happens when they finally subdue the Wendigo, because the Wolverine like stabs down, but it's almost like PG where they don't show any blood or anything in these comics. So the Wolverine like stabs down with his claws, and they like finally said like he's down, and then they go, well, he's not dead because he's indestructible, but he's been knocked out by the Wolverine's claws. I'm like, knocked out by claws? Like, wouldn't he be like scratched and emaciated and like stabbed or something? But apparently his claws just knocked him out. I don't understand how, but that's apparently what happens in the Incredible Hulk. So then they knocked him out, and then now it's back to the witch. We're cutting back. The witch uses like a gas that knocks them all out, and so they all like get passed out. And then I don't remember if the witch did anything. She just talked for a little bit, and then the Hulk woke up because he is also like he's got strong stamina, so drugs don't hold him down very long. So then he woke up and was like, Wolverine, I'm gonna beat your ass. And Wolverine was like, well, get me out of these chains and maybe we'll try it. And then he goes, okay. So he gets him out of the chains because they chained up Wolverine. And then he gets him out of those chains, and then they keep fighting for a little bit. But it's not going anywhere. Although they acknowledge that Wolverine can't do anything to the Hulk. And also that the Hulk is 2 feet taller than Wolverine, which I thought the Hulk was way taller than that. I thought the Hulk was like 12 feet or 15 feet taller, some crazy shit. But no, he's just 2 feet taller than Wolverine, who I thought was also very small. I thought he was canonically very short. But anyway, they keep fighting, and literally nothing happens. It cuts to the witch lady, and the witch lady goes, she has like the Wendigo reappears. He's woken up, and she has this very heartfelt, and I felt like this moment was supposed to be very heartfelt, and I think I felt the emotion in it. She knows who that Wendigo is, and the Wendigo did some kind of ritual and brought her brother back to life, or cured his sickness, whatever was afflicting him. And then she said, like, why did you do that? And he said, because I love you. And then he cried, and then the issue ended. I said, you know what? That's a good stopping point for me. I don't think I need to read any more of this. So that was the Incredible Hulk 180 and 181. I don't know what's going to happen to Wolverine. Maybe he'll appear in another group at some point.
Wow. Yeah, dude, old like comics, especially old superhero comics, are dumb. They're incredibly dumb. That's the back then it was like not taken as, I guess, seriously. Do you know what year this was?
Yeah, I pulled it up. It was 1974.
Same year, dude. We twinned.
We twinned.
We twinned up. So you're telling me in 1974 I could have gone to the store with the whatever my allowance was, probably wasn't that much, and I could have gotten an issue of Turok, Son of Stone, and the Incredible Hulk, and I would have had the best night of my life.
Yeah, until 3 years when Star Wars would come out, and then that would
Yeah.
change. Before Star Wars, it was the Incredible Hulk and Turok.
It is funny to like. I guess if this is Wolverine's first appearance, I guess they didn't know if they were going to do anything else with the character.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's why they were like, he can't pierce the Hulk's skin.
Well, yeah, and they had built him up too, because it said like it showed the scientists in New Mexico, and it was like previously seen in issue 172.
No, okay.
So they had been working on this for a while, but why would you create somebody that can't cut through the guy's skin?
I guess the goal is to still maintain Hulk as like this hero figure and like impenetrable, and Wolverine is not necessarily like a main character at this point. He's still kind of like maybe we can do something with him. I am looking at the image of him. He looks kind of like a Birdman or something.
Yes. Yeah, he looks very
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, you can't have like him beat the hero's ass. He's the Hulk. You can't have
Why can't he beat the hero's ass? Jeez, can we get some tension?
I don't know, because it was 1974, dude.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. But it's like that's the basics of tension, is that your character's supposed to struggle at something. Jesus.
Like, yeah, I think like Superman didn't even die until like fucking the 80s, right, or something.
Well, yeah, but then you go like, "Ow, kryptonite" or something like that.
Ow.
Yeah, but Hulk's struggle is that it's not like on demand. He can just become Hulk. It's like when he gets pissed off, and then when he's not, he's weak.
Yeah, it's a Jekyll and Hyde thing.
Yeah, and the stupidity is also a flaw too, because he just does dumb shit. Like ends up in Canada. Sorry, BioPhoenix and Legend of Leo.
It's a big mistake for sure.
It is funny because I mean, like Wolverine is from Canada now,
right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was confused when I was reading that, because I was like, he came from New Mexico. I thought he came. The Hulk specifically went to Canada. I was like, okay, that makes sense because Wolverine's from Canada, and they're like, no, he's from New Mexico. Like, why? Like, why did you do that? That's so silly.
Yeah.
Well, it's not where you're from. It's where you're at.
Yeah, you have to think at this point in time. I don't know. Was the Hulk series on like the Lou Albano one? You know what I'm talking about? They painted
let me look it up.
Because like Hulk was like a big character. Hulk used to be a bigger character than he is now. Not size wise, but popularity.
Be a smaller character.
It's like back then, like the big ones for Marvel were like the Fantastic Four, Hulk, and Spider-Man, but that one's stuck. But the Fantastic Four and Hulk haven't, and they used to be like big characters for them back then.
Hold on. Hold on. I looked bad. November 4th, 1977. So in 3 years.
So yeah, so Hulk's a popular character at this in history.
He really is. Why would the Hulk be such a popular character?
I don't know, man. He's a big green guy.
Everyone's got a little Hulk in them, We all
He's
go
relatable. Okay.
a little mad sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kids, when you get a little mad, it's okay. Just channel it, rip out of your clothes, and
get some purple pants.
Get some purple pants, and rip a guy in half.
And eat your broccoli.
Yeah, from the Green Giant.
Yeah.